I don't think blaming just the board or just Rahm or just Bruce Rauner is enough. I think one office of government alone is not responsible for this. It's all three in conjunction. It's more systemic, and I think even within the system there is systemic disenfranchisement of certain schools. Like, I go to Jones, we get a lot of money. We do. We're one of the few schools that's getting a lot of money. And I don't think it's fair that because I got a certain score on a test, and the people that go to school have got a certain score on the test, I don't think it's fair that we get more money just because we happen to be better at filling out bubbles. I think it's not fair that neighborhoods are continuously kept from having quality education because their schools aren't being funded. It's ridiculous.
I don't know where Jones is. 1,000 people. Yeah. There's like 1,000. What school are you from? Really? Where's the funds? Where's the funds?
It seems they kicked us out, but we're not going to stop. We're going to start marching around and showing that our education matters. Let's go! SOS, save our schools!
SOS, save our schools! SOS, save our schools! SOS, save our schools!
It was a group of 7 or 8 students from all around Chicago organizing it. We're fed up with the cuts. We're terrified for what our schools are going to look like second semester. I can't even fathom 5,000 teachers being fired. That's 1 out of every 5. I love every single one of my teachers. Not a single one of them deserves to lose their job, lose their pension, have to go on strike to fight for their rights. I have friends who the only reason they go to school is because they have an art class. I have friends who really need these APs and these honors classes to get into the selective schools. And Bruce Rauner and Rahm Emanuel, Mike Madigan, Forrest Claypool, they're not doing anything. I have solutions right here. It's a multi-pronged approach, but you need to be proactive and find solutions. There are many ways to raise revenue. There are many ways to cut costs on both CPS. When you're talking about internally at CPS with Bruce Rauner, he just has to reprioritize. And Forrest Claypool and Mayor Emanuel can cut costs, can raise revenue if they really want to. If they really want to think about who do I care about? Do I care about the students, the elderly, the young people, or do I care about my friends? If they care about us, they're gonna raise property taxes, but not too much. They're gonna use TIF funds to fund education. They want to completely privatize education. You look at Bruce Rauner, he's profiteering off of the charter schools that are being opened. You hear Bruce Rauner and Rahm Emanuel playing good cop, bad cop, arguing, throwing jabs. That's exactly what they're doing. They're playing good cop, bad cop. They have the exact same agenda. They know what they're doing. They're both on the same side of this battle.
This education crisis isn't just specific to students. This has to do with everyone. When a country and a city is educated, everyone profits. We can't be used as a bargaining chip in political agendas. This is a very important issue that students are being proactive in dealing with now.
We're here because the state is trying to cut $500 million from CPS's spending and their budget. CPS, we're letting you off the hook today. We remember, we're aware of the hundreds of millions of dollars that you have wasted and given away, and the racial divide you've created in the city. But right now, we're looking at you, Bruce Rauner, we're looking at you, Mike Madigan. The state... The state is cutting $500 million from the CPS budget. And then in February, there would be tragic consequences. We're looking at over 22% of CPS teachers being fired. That's over 5,000 teachers who will lose their job. That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable, yeah. We're gonna lose classes, APs, art classes, we just won't have them anymore. We'll have to adjust the new schedules halfway through the year. We'll have class sizes with 35 or 40 kids in one classroom. Neighborhood schools that have been for years just have their budgets slashed by racist cuts and disinvestment, they'll struggle to even function after February. And special ed programs that always need more funding will lose so many teachers' aides. That's why we're here today, to tell Bruce Rauner, to tell Mike Madigan, to tell Rahm Emanuel, Forrest Claypool, you have to come up with a plan that funds our futures, because we will stand up and fight for our teachers. We won't let you do this. We will come together, and we will demand dignity and respect for our classmates, our arts programs, our schools, our communities.
So I'm here to tell you a little bit about my story and why I got into the entire activism regarding our education system. In 2013, CPS closed 50 elementary schools. Right. One of those elementary schools was the one I graduated from, the one my siblings went to. We have to understand that this is not the beginning. These budget cuts are not the beginning of CPS's monstrosity, but it's not the end either. If they started with closing schools and now they're cutting budget cuts, imagine what they can do later. Almost a year ago, my parents, Rosemary right here, was banned from the Chicago Public Schools Board of Education. They were banned for speaking up, meaning that right now, their voices are muted because they can't speak up for their children. How do they say that we are the future if they're not funding our future? Are we not worth enough? Children are the future. Don't let CPS's budget cuts tell you any less.
I think there are ties to the Vietnam War movement, the civil rights movement. You have kids coming together that are being marginalized. You are seeing a racial epidemic when you see the black kids and the Hispanic kids are the ones being marginalized. They're the ones that are having their schools closed. And if you look at it, this is what's going on. We're coming together and we're saying this is not okay. We have elite leaders who we aren't voting for making these decisions, being in charge of millions of dollars. You have appointed Board of Ed who are just levying property taxes, which is taxation without representation. Kids are realizing this and they're pretty mad and they're mobilizing.